Guess who's back? Back again. Don't know when this video is gonna get posted, but this is the day after I did the NFL video. A lot of things happened for me to do that NFL video. And another NFL thing happened today. Like I make a post. That's just the life of somebody who wants to be a creator, somebody who like wants to be involved on social media at all. It's literally just tweeting something or doing something or putting your effort into something, and then not all of that, but like most of it just getting nullified by something else that happens. It's like I sit down for 30 minutes yesterday and I do that video, and then I spend another. My roommates were yelling in the background and you could hear that through the microphone. So I don't know, I must live in a paper house. These walls are so thin in my apartment. But I spent, time editing it yesterday, uploading it today. I upload it in enough time, I even waited till later in the day, because here's also my thing with creating content centered around sports. I feel like if you wait until the best time to do it is not right when something happens. I feel like you wait a little bit and you do your thing, and you just do whatever. Like you wait a few more hours. Like that's what I did with the Russell Wilson thing. Like with the trades, like the trades were happening while I was in class, like the Rodgers extension, blah blah, all that stuff. And so I just waited, and I waited until the end of the day, and then in that video I found out, like, while I'm shooting the video, while I'm talking into this microphone, talking into this camera who's not giving me any reaction, Bobby Wagner gets cut. So there's I have no idea what I'm going to say. It's good to wait, because sometimes you can wait, because sometimes you do wait and things come up that are good, like that you can add into the video. Like if you wait a whole day, or like the tweet or blog or whatever, like if you wait the whole day, especially in free agency, you don't just go off, oh, it's been 5 hours into free agency, let me just do a reaction right now, or like let me write a reaction blog or do a video or do a tweet. Twitter's different because it's just the ether, so you can just like send whatever you want out into there, and it doesn't really matter like what it is. You can just say it and it won't matter. But like, especially with making videos, because you have to spend time making the video, editing the video, posting the video, thumbnails, doing all that stuff, which I don't do thumbnails really anymore. But it's like, if you wait, then you have all the content. But if you do it before, then you're going to miss out on content. Then you're going to have to cover that in tomorrow's video or the next day's video or the next time you upload. All that to say, Carson Wentz got traded to the Commanders. Terrible team, terrible uniforms. Not terrible team, terrible name. He got traded to the Commanders for a third-round pick and 2 seconds, and like a third that can convey to a second if he plays 70% of the plays. Just don't really know. Don't really know what that is. Have no clue what the Colts are doing, really, because he seems to me like a quarterback. I mean, they were 8-0 when Jonathan Taylor ran for 100 or more yards, and every time he ran for under 100 yards, they lost. Carson Wentz seems like a guy to me who should be able to win you games where the main factor in you winning is your running back going over 100 yards. He should be able to win you at least like 2 of the 8 games that you lost. I think they went 9-8, missed the playoffs, something like that. Or 8-9. I think they went 8-9. They needed to beat the Jaguars in the last week of the season to make the playoffs, and they didn't because Carson Wentz sucked. But I feel like Carson Wentz should be a guy that's able to win you games when your running back doesn't go over 100 yards. But apparently that's not the case. Hopefully he does well in Washington. Because I was a big stan. I was really big time, standing up for Carson Wentz, possible MVP candidacy the year he tore his ACL and the Nick Foles. He just hasn't been the same since then. He just has not been the same since then. Um, it's just weird. Like his career started off rough-ish, and then he turned it around, put together a 30-plus touchdown season. His team had one of the best records in the NFL. And then big old Nick, comes along and wins a Super Bowl, and now Carson's like irrelevant. It's really weird. Twitter exchange with my friend Randy that I had, and I pretty much said, and I think this is true, Carson Wentz is the prime example of this guy used to be a first-round pick, so he's going to get as many chances to play football in the NFL as possible. It's just what it is. First-round picks, because they were first-round picks, will more than likely, like, there's zero reason Tavon Austin should still be on an NFL roster. There's no way. He simply should not be on an NFL roster. And he's got that he's a good returner. That's it. And he's got that first round stigma. So I think that's kind of why he keeps getting jobs, whether it be on the Cowboys, the Packers, the Huda, the blah. But yeah, that's all the NFL. I don't really know. I don't know what the Commanders are doing. They're not giving up like crazy high value picks, but like still 2 picks for Carson Wentz. You got 2 picks back that could convey into seconds. The third could convey into a second. Carson Wentz for 2 second-round picks, essentially. Not that bad of a deal. The Colts don't really know what they're doing at quarterback. Like, I don't think they really have known for like 4 years what they've... Ever since Andrew Luck retired, which was like 2 years ago, I don't think they've really known what they're doing at quarterback. They just haven't known. They just don't know. Like, they just take a guy number 1 overall, and those have... Whatever. I said I was going to do an NBA version of this thing that I did with the NFL yesterday, and I think I am going to do that, and I'm going to do it right now. So this is really weird because like I'm looking at the screen, but then I look here, but then I like look over there, and then I look here. I just want to talk about... I'm going to put this arm down. Cool man right here. And I noticed, I rewatched the video, I noticed I do this and this a lot. I have ADHD, undiagnosed. No, my parents had me tested when I was a young child, and it wasn't like there enough for them to want to shell out the money for the medications. And the medications back then, when I was younger, in like the late 2000s, the early 2000s, was not like that good, wasn't that advanced. But yeah, I'm a handsy guy, handsy fella. Don't take that the wrong way. I'm respectful. So we're gonna talk basketball. Could talk March Madness type stuff, but I haven't watched enough college basketball, and I don't want to make myself look like an idiot. But I just want to talk about, what's been going on in the NBA since the All-Star break. Teams that have been good. Teams that I've enjoyed watching. I'll just say teams that I've enjoyed watching. Teams that I've enjoyed watching since the All-Star break. The Pistons. Now, that's one. I had my thumb and I can't really see it. The Pistons are my team. I am a fan of the Pistons. They are my favorite team in the NBA. Does that help me sleep at night? No. Does it make me want to cry in the shower sometimes? Yes. But it's who I am as a person. I fell in love with that team, when it was Sheed and Chauncey and Rip and the Ben and Tayshaun. Could have drafted Melo, drafted Darko Milicic instead. Joe Dumars, why'd you do that? But I've loved that team since then. The Bad Boys documentary, one of the best sports documentaries of all time. No bias in that. I think regular not, I say regular people because like Pistons fans aren't regular people. Non-Piston fans would say that. But it's been a struggle lately, especially at the beginning of this season. It didn't really look like Cade was confident. He had to build that up. And now he looks like runaway rookie of the year right now. Like Evan Mobley is still providing a lot in terms of defense and in terms of rebounding and in terms of switchability and in terms of post scoring. But it's like you're on a team with, I don't know if a guy can win rookie of the year when he's on a team with a point guard and a center who both made the All-Star game and who are both really big factors as to why he is that good. You know what I mean? Especially Darius Garland, because Darius Garland be diming up Evan Mobley. He just had Darius Garland had 18 assists the other night. He just had 41 points last night with 13 assists or something crazy like that. Like, he's so good. And I was watching this video. I think it's this guy called Zero Bounce on TikTok. He said, if you're a young guard, you should never try and model your game after a guy like Ja Morant, or not to say that these players are bad, but just not to model your game after like a Russell Westbrook or a Ja Morant, or I don't know why I'm yawning so much, but it's making me upset. I'm gonna do something about it. I drank like 2 cups of coffee already today. It's only 2:00. I'm ruining this video, but just like any uber athletic guard that's super fun to watch, like a Derrick Rose or like a this or a that, never try and model your game after those guys because their athleticism cannot be replicated. But you should model your game after guys, and not to say that these guys are better, but this is a more, it's easier to model your game after somebody whose skills you can realistically acquire as opposed to guys like, you know, it's easier to play like Trae Young than it is to play like Russell Westbrook. It's easier to play like Russell Westbrook because he's bad, so most regular people are bad at basketball, but like in a basketball sense, the styles of play, it's way easier for somebody to develop into a Trae Young because, you know, not to say it's easier to shoot, but those are skills that innately most basketball players have. You know, you can build a handle, you can build a pick and roll maneuverability, you can build, you know, shot creativity around the basket, you can build a 3-point shot, you can build an ISO game. Really hard to build a 42.5-inch vertical for somebody. But Darius Garland is a guy that I really like watching, and I started off talking about the Pistons, and now I'm talking about Darius Garland. The Pistons beat the Cavs in the first game back from the All-Star game, and Cade Cunningham had a lot to do with that. I think Cade Cunningham's the best player on the Pistons right now. I think defensively he has his struggles, but he's learning and he's willing to play defense. He's a good defender at times, but there was a game that they played against the Celtics, who we'll get to in a second, where they played against the Celtics, and it was just Tatum and Brown going at him for like 12 straight possessions. They were just hunting the Cade switch, and they got it every time. And he lost the battle, and he lost the game. But the Pistons have like the second most wins in the NBA since the All-Star break. Cade, Sadiq, and Jeremy are all averaging 20 points a game. The Pistons have been fun to watch. Killian is starting to come into his own. Hamidou Diallo, I think, should get more run off the bench instead of Rodney McGruder, but who am I? They're a really fun team. I think Cade is the rookie of the year right now, handedly. It could have been Scotty Barnes. It could have been Evan Mobley. But like, if the Pistons continue to play like this, I think that Cade has to be rookie of the year, because if they keep there's no way they keep this pace up, by the way, because there's only like 20 games left. But like, if they like, I just think that if Cade can keep elevating the level of play on the Pistons like he is right now, then he should be rookie of the year. And I don't think that's crazy. He was the number 1 overall pick. He was expected to do this. He just started out a little rough. Some guys started out harder than him. Remember? It's so crazy. Remember when Jalen Green was talking smack to Cade Cunningham after Cade made a business decision and Jalen dunked the ball, and Jalen felt pissed that he should have been the number 1 pick instead of Cade? And then Jalen shot 14% from 3 in a month He had his best shooting month of basketball. I can't remember what months these were. I think it was January and February. No, it might have been December and January. He had like one of his best shooting months, Jalen Green did, in December. And then he literally shot like 20, like he shot a crazy low percentage. I don't think it was 14. I think it was like 24. That's still terrible. But yeah, Jalen Green's not been that good. Josh Giddey's rookies. Josh Giddey's been really good. Franz Wagner's been really good. Trey Mann. Man, Trey. He's been really good. I've enjoyed watching Trey Mann a lot. The Thunder, another team since the All-Star break that I've loved watching. I love watching the pace at which they play. Shea has the most points in the NBA since the All-Star break. It's like 233. I saw a StatMuse tweet earlier today. StatMuse, follow StatMuse if you don't, and that'll be $50. StatMuse, you owe me for that. I just sponsored you, or you're now sponsoring me. You got to pay me $50 for that shout out. The Thunder just so fun. I think it's that young thing. I think it's that young factor. Desmond Bane was on JJ Redick's podcast talking about JJ was talking about like how freely they play and how like they're able to do what they're able to do, and Desmond Bane was like, well, it's because like we're so young, we don't know any better. And I think that's the same thing with the Thunder. And I really like what they're doing. They need a big man. Please, I really want Chet to go to the Thunder at like pick 2. So please do that. The Pacers have been really fun to watch, and I think that's in big part to Tyrese Halliburton. I think everybody was shocked, and now this is like 2-week-old news that I'm doing this video on. 3, probably, maybe even 4, maybe 5, maybe 6, 7, 8, 9. Don't know why they traded Tyrese Halliburton. Don't know. I think that them trading Tyrese stems from them drafting Davion Mitchell, which didn't need to happen. I'm going to get on my phone right now because I don't quite... my memory is like good selectively, but I don't remember a lot of things that I should probably. I'm just looking at the NBA draft. I'm looking at the draft just to see who got taken after Davion Mitchell. Because I liked what Davion could bring to a team, but I thought he's more of you plug him in like a team maybe that was looking for a guard that was on the fringe of contending trades up for him. I never thought that he was like a guy that you like start your rebuild around. So Davion Mitchell, I personally would not have taken him at 9. I really liked Moses Moody. I really liked Chris Duarte, and I really liked James Bouknight. Now Bouknight is more of a 2. So it's like now you just have the same guard problem that you did with but instead of having 2 1s, you have 2 2s in Tyrese, De'Aaron, and if you take Bouknight. But he's a good playmaker and he's athletic. I don't think he can play the 3, but like he's still he'd be a really good 6-man. Duarte could have played the 3 for them. And like Buddy comes off the bench. But like Duarte's not that good of a defender. I would have taken Moses Moody. I really liked Moses Moody. I mean, there just wasn't a ton of things that they needed in this draft that went. Like, it was just really weird because they didn't necessarily need a guard. And they needed a big, but like the best bigs went before. I mean, they maybe could have tried and traded up with Golden State for Kuminga, or they could have, traded down and snagged a guy like Isaiah Jackson or something like that, or traded down for Day'Ron Sharpe. But like, all that to say, didn't really like the Davion pick, and I feel like because they picked Davion, they were forced to trade somebody out of that guard room, and it just happened to be Tyrese, and I don't really know. But now he's running the show in Indiana, and he looks so good. They played the Pistons the other night, and another thing about the Pistons, Marvin Bagley looks really good. I like how he's starting to play. It's a lot more aggression in Detroit than it was in Sacramento. In Sacramento, it was kind of like, wait for somebody else to initiate something so that I can do something. Now he is initiating things for himself, which is really good. I think that's good for him in his growth and development because he's still young guy. But the Pacers are really fun to watch. They're really fun to watch. I like the pace that they play with. I think Tyrese is helping pick up that pace of play. They shoot well from the outside. They've got good defenders. They've got good lob threats. They're just an exciting team to watch. They're fun. They get up and down the court. They create a lot of transition buckets and things like that. Another team that's been super fun. I don't necessarily know if team is the right word for this. I have not thoroughly enjoyed watching Jaylen Brown since the All-Star break, but I've thoroughly enjoyed watching Robert Williams and Jason Tatum. Time Lord's one of my favorite centers in the NBA, and I think that the Celtics got a franchise-level center for what they need on an absolute steal. They're only paying, like that contract they gave him, it goes up to like $13 million a year, but it's like a 4-year contract, which is a steal for a center who has like the lowest, like when guarded by him, opponents' field goal percentage drops the most. It's like a 5% differential in field goal percentages, and that's the highest in the NBA. He's got like the most shots affected at the rim in the NBA. He's a really good rebounder, can defend on the perimeter, can defend in the paint, defend on the low block. He can do everything. And Jason Tatum's been a madman. He KD'd KD. He gave KD 54. Now, they were fouling him at the end, but I don't think they needed really to foul him because he was going to get 50 anyway. And it looked like an easy 50 until about like the end of the third, till like 6 minutes left in the fourth. He was going to work. He literally put on a suit and picked up his suitcase, said, "Time to go to work." Kissed his, kid on the cheek, grabbed his cup of coffee, walked out to his car. Time to go to work. Time to clock in. He was giving the business to anybody who guarded him. It didn't matter if it was Claxton, if it was KD, if it was Kyrie, if it was Curry, if it was whoever. Take Steve Nash out of retirement and put him on the court. He's giving him the biz. Jason Tatum to me now is playing like a top 5 player in the NBA. I'd say, since the All-Star break, dude, people talk about Jason Tatum like he's bad. The dude's averaged 26 the last 3 years. I think. I'm going to correct myself. I'm going to check myself right now. I stand corrected. He's averaging 26 this year. He averaged 26 last year. He averaged 23 and a half the year before. But he's averaged more than 23 points the last 3 years of his career. I think that that's really good. But people act like him and Jaylen Brown need to get broken up when all they do is make Eastern Conference Finals, or lose to the team that makes the Eastern Conference Finals and then makes it to the championship and either wins or loses the championship. They're a good team. I don't think they need to get broken up. I think maybe you could move some of the more superficial pieces to add better superficial pieces. You could maybe package a couple of your bench players and picks to upgrade your bench and upgrade your role players and your rotational guys. You could be able to do that, but I don't think you need to split up Jason Brown, Coach JB. I don't think you need to split up Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum, Missouri represent. I'm getting close to my camera here because 24 minutes. Okay. Other people, players, teams that have been fun to watch since the All-Star break. The Pelicans. I really like how Brandon Ingram's playing right now. Point CJ is really working. I think they're 4-0, 5-0. They dummied the Lakers the other night. I don't even want to talk about the Lakers because it's all that has been said is all that needs to be said. We don't need to keep talking. Can we agree? Can we shake? I'll shake your hand. Shake your hand. Yep. Thank you. We don't need to keep talking about the Lakers. There is no reason to keep talking about the Lakers. They are, shout out Dennis Green, we are who we thought they were. I thought they'd be a little better. I thought they'd be like a 5 seed, 4 seed. I did not think they'd be fighting for a play-in spot with the greatest player of all time on your team. Anthony Davis is starting to like really piss me off, and it's not even because I'm a LeBron guy. It's because I'm a like common sense, logical person. Let's go back a few years. There was a point where Anthony Davis was averaging like almost 30 points and 14 rebounds a game and was winning Defensive Player of the Years. Where's that? Huh? Where's that? Everything is an injury for Anthony Davis. If he steps wrong on his left foot, he's out 2 to 3 weeks with a strained clytoglycerus muscle. That's not even a real muscle, but he'll make it up so that he doesn't have to play basketball for the Los Angeles Lakers. Russell Westbrook's terrible. The second best player on the Lakers is Malik Monk, and I love that. I love that for Malik. I've liked Malik for a long time. That's all I'll say about the Lakers. I'm not going to talk about him anymore. James Harden and the Philadelphia 76ers have been so fun to watch. I almost made this tweet when they won those like 3 games in a row. I almost made this tweet, and I'll say it now. So this is like verbal meme right here. I want to see how to. Oh, it was gonna be something like, I can't wait for the discourse of when Tyrese Maxey like becomes a good NBA player, and then people start saying, "Well, James Harden made him. He wasn't anything until James Harden got to Philly." He just made him like, yeah, duh. Embiid's gonna be better now. James Harden, Tobias is gonna be better now. Max is gonna be better now. You bring in a guy who can draw that much attention, space the floor that much, make those good of passes, be that smart with the ball, you're going to make everybody better. And Maxey's also playing with I keep saying confidence, but I don't really know if that's the word. I think to be a good NBA player and to be able to score the basketball a lot, you got to be confident, or you just have to be so stupid that you think anything you do is going to be. And that's not confidence to me, to think that everything you do is going to be a good thing and it's going to like go in the hole, go in the basket, and you're going to like get paid a lot of money to do that. I don't think that that's confidence. I think that's stupidity disguised as confidence. And I don't think many people in the NBA have that really anymore. But Tyrese Maxey is playing with a level of moxie, a level of intensity is what I like. I like his intensity, and I think that he's just turned it up since James Harden has got there. And now having a second primary perimeter ball handler is a good thing for them, because Curry's a ball handler-ish. Seth Curry was for them, but Maxey was like that main guy, and it's hard to ask a second-year guy to do all that and be the best guard on a team that, you know, is contending for an NBA title. I'm trying to think of other teams that I've had a lot of fun watching. You know who's really terribly boring to watch is the Portland Trailblazers. I cannot stand. The only person I like on that team is Anthony Simons. And I liked Nas Little a little bit. I used to like Nurkic, but none of those guys are healthy. Dame's not playing. It's very hard to watch Trendon Watford and CJ Ellaby trot out there every night. Like, it's worse than high school basketball, and I cover a lot of high school basketball for like journalism purposes. I've also covered some college basketball, but it's not fun. It's not good. It's not good ball. It's not fun to watch. Who else has been fun to watch? You know what? Let's talk about this. I don't know if it's teams, but I really love watching Keldon Johnson, DeJounte Murray every night. Keldon Johnson and DeJounte Murray, let's not run those words together. I want to talk for a living, so that's really weird that I just like can't put things together. DeJounte Murray and Keldon Johnson are really, really fun to watch. I cannot wait for them to get like a good pick, a good big. Pirtle's a good big, and we'll talk about Pirtle later, but a different thing. I want them to get like a Jabari Smith, a Banchero, but I also want the Pistons kind of to get those guys. What'd be cool? I wouldn't mind seeing Jaden Ivey or AJ Griffin on that team. I really like that. I think that those are two good pieces that could possibly be there. But watching DeJounte Murray, he's been a guy that I've liked for so long. It sucked when he got his injury. I liked him coming out of Washington. Don't understand how he fell to like the 28th pick of his draft. He tore his ACL. I was like, dang, really wanted to see him play because I thought he was going to be really good. And then he's come out this year. He's all-star. All-star DeJounte. Give me those. But he's really fun to watch. Keldon Johnson is playing with a level of ferocity now that I really like. He's not really like settling for a ton of jump shots anymore. He's starting to use his big. He's a big dude. Keldon Johnson is. He's long in the arms. He can get to the rim very easily if he decided he wanted to. But I feel like at the beginning of the season he was like I don't know if it was a coaching thing, but it was like he seemed kind of delegated to the 3-point shot. But I think in these first few games after the All-Star break, he's been able to get more will, or he's been granted the ability to go to the rim more and not just take as many outside shots. And I think that's good for him because I feel like it's a part of his bag that needs to be really exposed. And I think the Spurs need to take advantage of that. I don't know if there's anything else I want to talk about in the NBA. Not really. Who else is fun to watch? I'm trying to think of teams that I really enjoy watching, that I seek out, because I watch most Piston games, so I'm trying to think of other teams that I'm ooh, I want to see them play. So I seek to find their game. I already said the Sixers. The Sixers is one of them. It's not a lot, not a ton. I just like who I like, and you can't get mad at me for that because it's who I like. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. Is that the type of guy you are? I want to talk about Pirtle. Not the player, the word game. Not the word game, the player game. No way, people. There's no way. There's either some crazy nerds out here. And here's my thing. This is what I was talking about my memory earlier. This is a great showing of my memory. I was talking about my memory earlier about how there are things that I don't remember that I probably should, how many points Jason Tatum scored in a game or averaged in seasons, or who got drafted after Davion Mitchell, or things that I would should be able to recall but can't. My friends and I play this thing called the name game, and somebody says a name. I'll give you an example. Tom Brady. Now, somebody has to think of somebody, the next person, so it's usually 3 or 4 people. The next person has to name somebody whose first name starts with B. So you could go Bernard King. And then, K, Kessler Edwards. E, Eloy Jimenez. You just keep going like that. There's no way people are guessing NBA role players on Pirtle without using silhouette on one. There's no way you're just guessing players and you're like, oh, this guy's he's probably 6'3", blah, blah, blah. There's no way you're doing that. You have to be using silhouette, and if you're not tweeting silhouette on blank, then you're literally just deleting it before you type the tweet. David Duke was the player a couple days ago, and I'm not spoiling this. I need to do my Pirtle and my Wardle today, now that I think about this. David Duke was the player, and one of my friends tweeted at me in the thread that I got it in 5 and he got it in 4, and it didn't say silhouette. There's no way he knows how tall David Duke is. There's no way he knows his number and how tall David Duke is. How many games has David Duke played in this year? My guess is 25, maybe. Played in. He's the 6th guard on the Nets. I'm not mad that you guessed him. I'm mad that you're lying about you guessing him without using the hint. So quit lying. People playing Pirtle. Let's not lie. Let's be honest with ourselves and with each other that, if you cheat, you cheat. And that's fine. You can cheat. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. If you really want to get that person and have that on your, put that on your Twitter that you got this person in 2 tries, I have no problem with you lying. I have a problem with you lying about your lying. When you say, oh, no, I didn't use silhouette. but use a silhouette, you're lying. Those are my pieces. Those are my thoughts. I think that was a good baseline NBA episode so that like where I stand on things. Probably we'll do another one of these soon. Don't know how soon. I think things are going to have to happen for me. Maybe I'll do like a, award talk about video. I don't want to do predictions, but like maybe an award where I talk about who might get the NBA awards, which is literally just predictions, which is literally what I said I didn't want to do. Yeah, that was fun. This is fun. I like doing these types of videos. I love just chatting to myself, into a camera, because it just doesn't mean anything. It does mean something. It's fun, but it's like I can say what I want and I can make up the reaction that I think I might be getting in my own head. And I can laugh about things and I can joke about things and I can do things and things and things. And I'm good enough and smart enough and witty enough and talented enough and sexy enough and built enough and tall enough and handsome enough and strong enough to play off of myself. Those were all lies, by the way. I'll see you guys later. This is fun. Like, comment, subscribe. Run it up in the comment section. Follow me on Twitter at IamTJS_. Link in the description. Yeah, probably going to keep doing these videos because they're fun to do. Bye.